now, because I'm not really set up for that. But I may record it on my phone and upload it later while I'm talking to everybody. You will see me shuffle or maybe hear me shuffle my tarot cards. There's no one here yet. Like I said, I did not notify anyone that I was going to go live today. And so, yeah. So, what's happening? What's happening with everyone? My name is Kim Ainari. You have landed at Paradigm Theories. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And if you haven't done that, would you please do it? I also want to put a link down to my tarot card reading other YouTube channel. I would like to grow that more so that if I have more people on there, I would rather do live readings there than on Paradigm Theories, only because Paradigm Theories really is very eclectic type of channel, because I'm into here's someone here. I'm into UFOs, UAPs, paranormal, any type of phenomenon that doesn't make sense, that the world is experiencing. And sometimes I'm in a corner in my room. I'm hoping you won't hear too many distractions from the outside world here. And I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm able to get my microphone up and rolling. So there's, yesterday, I was into my feelings. And so for all the new people just coming through and don't know anything about me, and I hashtagged this D4VD and Celeste, this youngster. Why do I do things like this? Why do I like to do morbid? Is it morbid? I don't know. To me, it's not. I think death is just a transition out to wherever you feel you want to go to. I feel that however you transition or die, whether it's tragic or whether it's from old age or whether you take one breath and leave this planet, and because that does happen as well, people are born, they don't even take a breath, and for whatever reason cause this humongous sadness in the family until they can replace that baby or do something else. So we have, look, to me, Earth, I love Earth, right? That's where we're at. We're on, and I've always said we're on this planet who it is not like it's on a stick and it doesn't move, right? No, Earth and all of the planets, sun, all of that in our solar system is bobbing up and down, moving around. And, we're surrounded by an asteroid. I don't know, all these rocks and these asteroid belts and just they're following the orbit, right? And there's all these satellites up there, all these probes up there. The ISS station is in low Earth orbit. And so the frequency, and what is frequency, right? Do we have frequency with this planet? Absolutely we do. Do we have frequency with inanimate objects? I believe that we do. Do we have frequency with other human beings? Yes. What about species that people claim that they see? What about animals? So everything, to me, everything is frequency. This body has a little bit of electricity that runs through it. Go look it up. What makes the human body spark, be alive? Is the heart? Is it the blood? Is the electricity? Is it the soul that comes in and takes over? And so the little bit of time that you have on this planet and feeling frequency, to me, as I've gotten older and I have learned about different situations with frequency and dealing with psychic people, other intuitives, myself, and everything that makes up this earth. So we have all these different humans with all different beliefs and religions, all different categories of what their profession or jobs, if they're poor, if you're wealthy, if you're white, if you're black, red, brown, all these different people on this planet. And so when you get into your own little neighborhood, your own little world, and you go on this amazing social media, right? That can be controlled by a few very wealthy oligarchs, billionaires. And so you're seeking ways to either learn the knowledge, understand the world, and even spewing hate and racism and all kinds of different stuff out there for purposes of feeling the frequency, like you get a good vibe off of that. And your vibrational flow is low. So because you're low and you're going through something and you want to stir up the pot, you're going to say something stupid or silly. And then it goes viral, or maybe it doesn't, or maybe it's on Reddit or 4chan, or maybe it's on Instagram or Facebook. And you're seeing people are liking and all this other stuff. And that makes you have a high. Does that make me have a high when I do certain things on my YouTube channel? Of course it does. Because everything, like I said, is frequency. We get frequency on this computer I'm on. I get frequency on the laptop, on the iPad, on my phone. And so yesterday, my first day off from work, and I've been reading about D4VD, and I think what perked my ears up was because of this little girl who lived in Lake Elsinore. And how many times have I, when I was a child with my dad, and even going out there with my best friend, exploring this area and having fun in the lake and all this other stuff. And so I think the frequency, her vibrational flow, even though she transitioned out, was coming through. So I'm immersing myself. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just leave it alone. But she is coming through in such a way that it can't be ignored in me. And so I wanted to clarify some things on that. And thank you for everyone that has come through and has given me more information about this terrible tragedy with this child. So this video today, and if you don't know who I am, I have an about section. And so that about section will tell you the things that I'm into, which is UAPs, UFOs. If you scroll down on my videos, I illustrated what I and two other people saw one night back in 2005. You can see some tarot card readings on other serial killers or murders. I don't try to have this whole channel about this, but I have done things with tarot card readings and psychic abilities, and you can scroll down, you can look at it. Was I 100%? No. Was I spot on some things? Yeah. And so whether or not I was right about or will be right on some of the things that within the readings of David and Celeste, I don't know. after this and this particular video, that I'm not going to do any other tarot card readings about this situation. For me, I have to see how it plays out. And if anything was right on anything that I said in the tarot card readings. So I don't know. So this is what's interesting. So let's wrap up this D4VD. I'm not really going to kind of shuffle. You're not going to be able to see that with my laptop that I'm on. You're not going to be able to see the cards. So I may have to do a separate video, but that will be it. But I don't know if I am. But I just wanted to read this news article that came out, so I can wrap some things up about this whole situation with this guy, David, D4VD, and Celeste. So we already knew that, and I felt like he would lawyer up, and he should. This rapper, he's only 20. To me, he's very young. And I've always said, if you're under 25 years of age, and my girlfriend and I, when we used to go out and stuff, we always felt, and she was highly intuitive, that some people are not really mature enough for a lot of things. There are millions of young men and women in their 20s that are amazing. They're so smart. And are they born that way, or did they were encouraged to be that way going to school? I don't know. So let me read this article. It came out on September 22nd, which was yesterday. I try not to read too much into it, because when I do readings, I don't want it to kind of get or influence me on what I know, because I'm not reading like hundreds of articles. I'm not on Reddit about this whole situation. But so this came out, and this staff writer for the Los Angeles Times interviewed her family and friends. I'm talking about Celeste Rivas. And I found out through this article that that's not her real last name. Her last name is Hernandez. So I don't know about that situation, how that came into play, why she was called that. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. But anyway, so let me kind of read a little bit so that we can finish this up, and we can kind of let this go, and let's see what happens in the next couple of days or weeks. So we know she was 15. She was from Lake Elsinore. She was found dead in the trunk of singer D4VD's Tesla at a Hollywood tow yard. So I will put the link to this article when this is uploaded. Sometimes YouTube wants to see if I'm saying anything wrong, and it takes a long time to upload, especially live. And so the hashtags and things like that, and links will be put up to this article, so you can read it for yourself if you want to. So they were saying Celeste, I'm just not going to paraphrase. I'm just not going to read the whole article, just kind of skim through it. She's been reported missing multiple times. This is Celeste since Valentine's Day of 2024. And her severely decomposed body discovered September 8. While her Inland Empire community demands justice, the multi-platinum R&B singer has retained a lawyer, makes sense, after initially cooperating with investigators. He's doing what's right. D4VD has lawyered up. So they had a memorial for her, and people that were out there lighting candles, people that probably knew her or know her family or whatever, were saying that she deserves justice. Celeste does deserve justice. So there's some people that knew Celeste when she was in kindergarten. That's what this article says. She was studious, a hard worker, and intelligent. So now Her whereabouts remain a mystery during that time because she was missing in 2024. Though her name was initially listed as Celeste Rivas with the county medical examiner's office, it has since been updated with the Hernandez surname. We all know that her body was found at a Hollywood tow yard September 8 because the Tesla was impounded and somebody noticed or smelled a foul odor and all that. Her body was found in the Tesla. Although the medical examiner listed Celeste's age as 15 at the time of her death, her body was discovered in the Tesla a day after her birthday. LA police officials have described her body as being decomposed, suggesting she died while she was still 14. So the remains were found in a bag. And hopefully her family is lawyering up too, because they're not commenting. So we know a little bit more about her, guys. In February of this year, missing person posters blanketed the quiet residential street where Celeste lived with her family. It was one of the first times neighbors recalled seeing the girl's face on a poster. So the team was reported missing on Valentine's Day in 2024. Interesting. Valentine's Day. There's something about that day with a lot of missing people and people that have been, unfortunately, transitioned out in a horrible way. Something about February 14th. And this article says they really don't know how many times she was missing. But on March 19th of 2024, a young girl walked down the street in a dark sweater and light pants, according to a surveillance video from Del Lago Spirits, which is in Celeste's neighborhood. Celeste's family asked store owner for them to see the video. It was sent to them, confident the girl in the video was her. He believed that she got into a vehicle down the street from the store, but he could not make it out clear. He said that police had not contacted him for the video. The teen regularly stopped by the corner store on her way to a nearby bus stop because she was going to school with other kids. This guy that owned the store knew the things that she purchased there. We're still talking about Celeste. She was quiet, shy, and a sweet child. And to me, that says a lot when you're quiet and you're shy and you're around that age. She attended school roughly 76 miles in Lake Elsinore, roughly 76 miles from LA. So they were saying that she did, during this time that she was off and on and missing, she did come home by herself and another time with police. Authorities have said Burke was initially cooperating when news broke about her body being found in a vehicle registered to him in his name. It's unclear whether he remained cooperative after the medical examiner's office identified Celeste as a person in the truck. And they're saying D4VD, whose last name is Burke, has since retained a lawyer. So lots of multiple photos of Burke and Celeste have been online. I don't wonder if her family knew about that. It's been on social media. And I said TikTok, though I believe a lot of the videos and things were maybe on Discord, on D4VD's Discord. And she was disguised, but I think like one of them, she has a jacket on and she's got the hood on, glasses, but sometimes when you know some people, you just know who they are. So now this is interesting. Some woman, last name Vera, who identified herself as a relative of Celeste and helped start a GoFundMe page for her funeral, told the Times the family had no immediate comment on the case. Her name was later removed from the fundraiser. So I wonder what's going on there. Instagram account previously used by Celeste has since been reactivated by her relatives. Now that's interesting. The Times was unable to verify the validity of the account. In a series of posts, a user who appears to be her brother, Matthew Rivas, made several posts saying the family tried to find her before her death. We lost our girl. but we did everything. Flyers at her school, TikToks, Instagram, Facebook. Police, family searching everywhere, even on our family in Mexico shared and prayed for her. Another post said, my mom hasn't spoken in a week. She feels she failed her daughter, but she didn't. She did everything. Our home is quiet and broken. Hi, everyone. Thank you. I see some people. Don't be shy if you want to come in the chat, but if not, that's okay. But thank you for being here. I wanted to, there were two people in the previous video about him that commented to me that D4VD is an Aries. And I had mentioned in Celeste's tarot card reading that there was a King of Wands, and wands are fire signs. I'm a fire sign. I'm a Sagittarius. So wands are associated with fire signs. That's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And David, that's his real name, is an Aries. So now, are we going there? Did he do anything to her? I said I didn't feel that, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know the person or people that were using his Tesla during that time. So I did read the article. Now we know her last name is really Hernandez and not Rivas. There's tons. There's Ashley Banfield, and I love her. She's on News Nation. And the reason why I love News Nation is because of Ross Coulthart, because he does a lot of UAP interviews with whistleblowers and other people. And I've known about Ross Coulthart for probably before he was even on News Nation, because he was interviewed a lot of times by Jimmy Church, who has an amazing YouTube channel called Fade to Black. And Ross was down in Australia and talking about the UFOs and UAPs that were seen in and around Australia. And Jimmy interviewed him numerous times. So I knew about Ross. And so Ashley Banfield is also a news reporter for News Nation. And she just uploaded, I have not watched it, about D4VD and some new details, disturbing details. I don't know what those disturbing details are because I did not watch it. So I'm on my iPad because there were people that commented. So David was born on March 28th. So that's not even on the cusp of Aries, that you are a true Aries. Now, there are websites. I don't know the time he was born. You would have to go on his birth certificate, that you can go on there and see if he has. So these astrological charts are amazing. And I think it's astrology.com, and you can go on there and put your birthday, month, and year. And if you know the time, which is really important, you don't have to know the time of your birth. And when you click on it, it shows the planets that were in the solar system at the time you were born. And so sometimes it will show other signs because those planets represent astrological signs. So, but if we're on the Mayan calendar, I always say sometimes I feel like maybe I'm a Capricorn or was very close to being a Capricorn. My birthday's on December 18th. And if my mother had waited a few more days, I would have gone into the sign of Capricorn, but I'm a true Sagittarius. But we don't know about David, and I don't know Celeste's birthday. And I'm sure if somebody's watching, we can find out her birthday. So we know he's an Aries who was born on March 28th. True Aries, right? You are in your sign. You're not even on the cusp. You are an Aries. So fire signs. Fire signs are interesting people. Sometimes you're around other signs that are water signs. And so sometimes what does water do to fire? It can put the flame out. Or it can be steamy. Maybe you're steaming up that fire sign person. And if you are with air, there are air signs. So I don't know if Celeste was an air or a water sign. Air signs fuel the flame of the fire signs. And what else happens to fire and air? It could blow the sign, all the flame all the way out. And then you have earth signs, right? So I always say those types of signs, it's like my son, he's a Taurus, and he won't budge. He's like, yeah, Taurus signs are really interesting signs. I don't know if Celeste is a Taurus. I don't know. But they're really stubborn, and Taurians are very stubborn signs, but they are very family oriented, and they love their family. So it's very rare that a Taurus would ever want to completely leave their family unless something tragic happened and they just have to go. So they're very family oriented signs. So first of all, someone also said they were watching the video, and as for the king, the older man, his manager is Josh Marshall. The residence is leased in his name. So the residence in Hollywood where D4VD was staying, I don't know how often he was staying there, was leased the manager. So, how often was he there? I don't know how often D4VD was in that Hollywood Hills home. A lot of these celebrities, they're in other places in and around LA County. And it could be anywhere. The Tesla, was it in his name? But who was driving it when David was not around? We don't know. So many mysteries are still happening within this investigation. And thank you to Michael Rodriguez 7032. Thank you very much. I appreciate that information. And you obviously are on your game with information. I wonder if you live, or if if you're not too far from where she is, or if you're a fan of D4VD and where you're on his Discord or his Instagram, but I don't know. So, do I want to, I thought about it and I put it on there that I may do another reading, but I almost kind of want to not do that and just wait and see what happens with LAPD investigation and see what's up. Because, I've done readings without tarot cards. I don't have to have the tarot cards. For me, when people want to get a reading from me, it's just a visual thing. It's visual so that you can see things coming into play. And unfortunately, yesterday, I was really tired and I kept saying like the judgment card was the justice and the justice card was judgment. And I was kind of all over the place in that reading. And I know better. And so it was kind of muddled a little bit. And hey, I take responsibility when I go live or for even when I do readings that it was messy. And I do that's my fault. And I have to do better when I do cards like that. And I didn't want to delete it because I feel again that readings like that can be muddled, and that I'm never 100% right. So we're going to see, and Michael, if you watch this, we're going to see what takes place with this whole investigation with Celeste. And now that we know her last name, that may be a different situation with the cards. I do feel she will be coming through to her mom. Mom loved her. She had people that loved her. And so with that, she has not really left, guys. So I want to tell you about what time. We're almost 30 minutes in. So when I put the title and the description of this video, I have to tell you about an incident that happened. Wasn't an incident, but how frequency plays a part in people that have died tragically. So there's an intersection here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I travel frequently. And I don't want to say where because I don't want you guys to be looking it up like I did, because you will find out what happened in this intersection. And I don't want you inundating this person's mother or this woman who I feel was maybe his girlfriend. So I don't want you guys doing that. But I will say that it's a very popular intersection. It can be very dangerous. And so I was driving home one day and coming up to this particular intersection. And there was some cars in front of me. And I was in the lane because I was going to make a left onto this other street. These two streets are traveled. I mean, there's a lot of heavy traffic, a lot. And so I come to a stop. There's like maybe one or two cars in front of me, but on the corner, this is what piqued my interest, was a memorial. And I can say the person's name, but I'm not going to say the intersection. Here were these posters, and it was obviously from the mother. Here's the mom. And she said, "Happy birthday, Mikey." 30, I think he was 35. He would have been 35 that day. I had never seen that memorial before. And like I said, I travel it almost every day on my way home. And she had a white poster, "Happy birthday, Mikey." There were balloons there. There was all these beautiful little tiny decorations and little tiny things to make the decorations move around. And she was celebrating his birthday. So I was intrigued. And then when I looked and I saw Mikey's frequency came through. Oh my God, he found my third eye. He was so sad. He was just like coming through in such a way that I was like, OMG. And it was making me sad too, because I didn't know the circumstances of what happened to him. So my curious mind got home, and I looked up this intersection. It's funny how social media is. And it came up in one of the online news, local news, that there was a terrible tragedy. And I think it was either around March or April of 2025. So Mikey, his name was actually Michael. I can't remember the time. I want to say it was late at night or early in the morning, one of the two, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, somewhere around there. And he was on a motorcycle. And I'm not sure if he was speeding. I don't know. Just, you're on a motorcycle and you're just speeding. I don't know if he was under the influence while he was riding his motorcycle. I don't know. But he ran the red light. And I think he was just going way too fast. He didn't see this shuttle bus that had broken down a little bit past, just a teeny bit past the intersection. And he hit the shuttle bus and he flew off the bike. And I don't think he was in the street. I think he was on the side. And there's where this intersection is, if you are past, if like when I make a right, there's a sidewalk and it's a reservoir there. And I think he flew off into the dirt and died instantly. And so that's what happened to him. I found it on Facebook on that there was someone that loved him. I want to say a girlfriend or a really good friend or someone that mentioned him. And so here this story is coming. And so now I know. Now you're in my frequency. His frequency and my frequency are together. And so I didn't deliberately, like I said, I come up this way all the time on my way to my house, this intersection. And so I wanted to help him to move on because he's stuck there. He is stuck in the dirt. And I, being a psychic intuitive and being a Reiki master, I wanted to help him to move on, to not be in that area for eternity. I don't want to see you because it seems like you were obviously loved by this mother and family and your friends and whoever that is. And so I was coming home from work and again coming up to this intersection, and I could feel his frequency. And I said, please, I said, look, I don't want you to be stuck there because you're coming through so powerful that if you're that powerful of a spirit, you can actually, is there a way that you can visit your mother and show her that you are okay? There are spirits that are very powerful and can make things move within their mom's house. You can show yourself, but I don't know if you want to do that and scare your mom. But there are ways to do that so that you are not stuck in that area. And so when I told his essence, his spirit, that you, I don't want to see you here. I don't want to feel you here. I want you to give little vibes to your mom and maybe to this person who also mentioned to you on Facebook. And, you know, come visit where I feel I'm going to go. It's a place of happiness and it's a place for people that have transitioned out in a really terrible way. You can go there. I have a gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper's name is Peter. And Peter is the one that allows you to be in this part of the matrix where I'm going to go. So do I believe in heaven and hell? I don't know. Is that heaven? Is that a part of heaven? I feel it's a part of where I'm going. I don't call it heaven. It's just a place where I feel I'm going to go. It has a name. I'm not going to reveal the name. And I found out the name on the Gematria Natal Calculator is 33. And my first name, Kim, is 33 in the Jewish mysticism of letters and number. And Ainari is 33. I didn't know that. My mother was born in 1933. And my son's birthday month and year adds up to 33 on the calculator. So I also want to mention that Zachary Hubbard, who I've been following, I think, since 2016. I have his PDF of the gematria as well as his book. And he did because he was asked to do a decode of D4VD, and he did, and I'll put the link down in this video. So yeah, that was amazing. So when I came up after work and I passed this, well, I didn't, the intersection where Michael lost his life, I'm always in the right hand lane to make a right, and I didn't feel him anymore. So I do feel he's not stuck in the dirt, just being miserable for eternity because he died tragically. So I felt like I helped him to move on. He kind of comes through a teeny bit, but it's not like it was. So he's really not there. He actually moves around. So for Celeste, I don't know. She came through yesterday. And so I would hope that her whole spirit, her essence is not in the trunk of that car or wherever this horrendous murder took place. And her body was found in the trunk of the car. So for me, I'm hoping I can move out too for her family so that she is not stuck for eternity in wherever this took place. And I doubt it took place in the trunk of the Tesla. I think it took place someplace else. And so, we send her family love. Of course we do. And for D4VD, you know, I don't want to come across that I'm hating on this guy because I don't really know really a whole lot about this guy, David. He lawyered up. I think that's a smart move. But I did read the age of consent in California is 18. And obviously, he was a youngster when, and she was younger when they started. I don't know if it was a sexual relationship, but it was against the law. And if it continued into David D4VD being older than 18 and you are sexually involved with Celeste, that is not the age of consent. And that is why I said that he's in trouble, because she was a minor. And so even if you're not a minor and you're fooling around with somebody, it's not a consent until that minor is 18 years of age, guys. That's what I want to say. So he's lawyered up. He's being smart. You guys already can look at the video to see what the heck I'm talking about. I don't really know what's going to happen. But let's wait and see, because the LAPD is hot on this tragedy. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you very much for please like and subscribe. I'll put the link on. That is because I want to upload this video also onto my tarot card video, because that's where I want to do live readings for people. And I don't have enough subscribers over there on Kim's Tarot. There's just not enough. YouTube, you have to have 50 or more people. And so I only have like 6 subscribers. So I really would like to have more so I can really go in and do live readings for you all. I'm going to shut this down in this stream. And I want to come back and talk about, started a different stream on AI Atlas. And let's talk about NHIs. Let's go on for people that follow me for that. All right. I love you guys. Please take care of yourself. Be good to others. And we'll come back and talk about AI Atlas. All right, guys. Take care. I love you. Thanks. Like and subscribe. And listen, like I said, I'm not going to do any more videos on D4VD or Celeste, but you can, the comments are open. So Michael, if you know of any more information, I will go there and respond there. All right, guys, take care of yourselves, please.